Greetings. Welcome to Libations and Lost Saves. My name is Greg Washington, also known as Daddy Porter, as you see there. I am your host for this evening. We have a jam-packed news segment. We got a roundtable discussion, a Kirby review. We're going to visit with our friend Matt Clark. You're going to meet him as the host. You won't see him otherwise, but you will see him in the segment later. And then we'll wrap it up and have a little conversation later. So without further ado, here's the news.
Well, hello.
I'm not supposed to be here. Bye.
I was jamming to the beat.
Yeah, I know. I fucking love it. It's always the opening and then like the segue. It's like, all right, no, we're going. How are you, Rod?
Good. How you doing? Hump day.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
It is. I would have been hating to call Mike around that time when that commercial came out.
Everybody not All right, let's kick this thing off. So, first things first. This week, it was announced Kingdom Hearts 4 is back, or at least Kingdom Hearts is back. So, on Sunday, Square Enix announced during a 20th anniversary live stream that Kingdom Hearts 4 is being developed, the next Kingdom Hearts game. The next mainline Kingdom Hearts game, important. Square Enix was able to showcase its new city, the Quadratrum. I can't pronounce shit. It doesn't work. There's no word on what platforms this is going to be on, nor when it's going to be released. We can speculate that since we've seen it on the on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and PC and Switch for Kingdom Hearts 3, most likely we're going to be looking at the next-gen platforms coming. After much criticism of the third installment story from fans, some see this as a chance for redemption, but time's really only going to tell about that. I didn't really play too much of the series myself, although I will say I do have some friends that were like pretty into the series as it was, and were kind of disappointed with the way that number 3 turned out. So I don't know. Was that any of the RPGs along that line? I mean, it's basically Final Fantasy meets Disney.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to reinvest on here, but it was funny. You said Kingdom Hearts. All I kept thinking was Owner of a Lonely Heart. So that song popped in my head. You know, I'm a Gen Xer. I got a song for everything.
That's fair.
Yeah. Owner of a Lonely Heart. But I never got into this one. I never played this one. I was rare into some of the RPG type stuff. As you know, I'm definitely more of the shooter, more of the sports. Do mess around with a few of them, but I never got into this one. But I heard good things about it previously from people that did play that. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, if it's coming out in the next gen, I'm sure they got some pretty good upgrades to it to make it even that much more fun. But yeah, it's not one that's in my wheelhouse right now, but I just download stuff as I see it. If it's a good thing, I'll give it a try later, you know. So I might be interested, you know.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes yet. I mean, there's plenty of time to see where they're actually going to be heading with this then.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, one a little more in my wheelhouse. Max Payne. Yes.
Yes. I know some Max Payne now.
So last week, we got exciting news from Remedy Entertainment, the creators of Max Payne and Max Payne 2, that they've entered into a new development agreement with Rockstar Games to remake the iconic first 2 games. Sam Houser, one of the founders of Rockstar Games, says, "We were thrilled when our longtime friend at Remedy approached us about remaking the original Max Payne games. Right now, under the development agreement signed, Remedy is going to develop the games as a single title for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and X, using its proprietary Northlight game engine. The game's development budget will be financed by Rockstar Games, so you know that's just like, just throw all the money at it. It's like, oh, you need that? Here's another 10 million. Why not?
We up in the club.
making it rain and bullet time. So we can expect the size of this will be in line with a typical Remedy AAA game production. Something that's kind of neat for some little extra detail for the budget nerds. Under the agreement, Remedy has a royalty opportunity after Rockstar Games has recouped its development, marketing, and other costs for distributing and publishing the game. It's starting to sound like a little Shark Tank in there when they start throwing that in. So I'm a little fan. I like to see that. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely something that I know we have like our group chat going on. They are stoked about. We've reviewed this for our podcast. A couple of them in the series, and I mean, this is on deck.
Yeah. Well, I take it they're not going to cast Mark Wahlberg for the thing here, so
probably not Mark Wahlberg.
He's in the Uncharted now. He did the Max Payne movie, so
yeah.
Now people are like, wait a minute, there was a Max Payne movie. I'll tell you, I'm Gen X. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that when I was going through and checking out for some of the to get some of the graphics for this. The thing that popped up is like Mark Wahlberg, Max Payne. I'm like, oh shit, that was a thing.
Yeah, that was.
Now he's just it's just like back under the radar. It's like no, push that down a little bit. I mean, honestly, I can't speak. I don't know how the movie actually was, but
it was better than Kazam with Shaquille O'Neal. I was like, so, yeah.
Oh, poor Shaq.
It was kind of one of those Saturday movies when you're like laying on the couch and the remote's just too far away. You're like, the hell with it. I'm just gonna stick it here and just see what happens.
Like, all right, I don't want to move.
Yeah, but the wife comes by, you're like, hey, hand me that.
Can you give me that, please? It's like, are your legs broken? It feels like it.
But Max Payne's always like the hero that I always compare to the Punisher if he popped pills.
That's one hell of a way to put it, man. Yeah. It really is. No, I'm really excited to see where this is going to be with like an even more upgraded like engine to kind of see like, especially using the hardware on these next gen platforms. Mm-hmm. I mean, I still don't have my hands on either of them yet, but at least from what I hear back in some of like the videos and whatnot, I'm sure it's going to be nothing but fucking spectacular.
I can tell you, if it's going to be like they just did with Grand Theft Auto, the PS5 version compared to you can't go back. It's just the PS5 is just that much better than the PS4 version was. So like, if Rockstar is involved, it's like, I feel like it's going to be a pretty cool thing.
Yeah. Which it was really cool to learn. It's like, I mean, the first two games were like between these two companies. So for them to like form back together with our powers combined, I'm Max Payne shooting you in the face and killing a shit ton of people.
Duke Nukem's hanging out like, what about me? What about me?
It's gonna be your turn soon, Duke.
Fuck yeah. I'm your daddy.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to piss in a urinal in like super HD 4K? Oh shit. All right, so to keep moving along with some game announcements and whatnot, Breath of the Wild 2 has been pushed back. So to the disappointment of many, Nintendo announced that the long-awaited The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 has been pushed back from a 2022 release to a spring 2023 release.
Wow.
Yeah. A launch update video was shared by series producer Eiji Onuma, stating that the team is working diligently on creating an expansive, immersive special world for fans. This was also accompanied, of course, with an apology and an ask that we just please wait a little while longer because Nintendo's just so damn polite on their announcement. Yeah.
But I can respect them for wanting to do it right. It's like, as we enjoy some libations here and drink beer, I like when beer companies pull back their beer until it's done right. So I can respect them for doing it and not putting it out there half-assed like, what was that other one? Oh, it was what was the one game that came out everybody was bitching about? Now it slipped my mind. Last year. Everybody was waiting on it, and then
Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
Thank
Cyberpunk.
You,
it was like
Thank
Cyberpunk. You. He even knew. I didn't even know the name. He already knew. He was already on that page. Thanks, Vic.
Yeah, and the whole time, I just hear him screaming at his monitor, "Cyberpunk, come on!" But
Me
yeah,
and Vic,
I
we
mean,
need to go on a game show because we can hook it up, dog.
yeah, exactly.
Password is.
Keanu Reeves,
Yeah.
Cyborg, Cyberpunk. Yes. But yeah, I mean, I'd much rather wait. Give me, I'll take the time to wait for like a quality product rather than just like, hey, meet my immediate need of like wanting this game and then being like super fucking pissed about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you there. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather wait for to be correct. And right now, as we know, I go through Warzone, and Warzone's just been a cluster lately. So
Oh,
many people
God.
are complaining about how they're letting that fall apart. I mean, now they got the big dollars from Microsoft, Daddy. They just
Yeah.
don't really care anymore.
Yeah. Daddy Gates, can we have more, please?
Yeah. Daddy Gates from off of Epstein Island, but that's a whole.
Yeah, oh God. Where's the flight logs? All right. At least we did get a sneak peek into the environment, as well as an eye on what looks like to be the Master Sword. And it's really not like we can do much else but wait with anticipation for this new release. So I know I have a few friends that are just chomping at the bit to get into this. It's like, give me now, please. I'm waiting for it.
It's got such a great following behind it. So I can see people definitely wanting to get involved as soon as they can.
Oh yeah, definitely. So the next like biggest thing that came through is PlayStation is completely revamping their subscription service. So with that, Sony's set to launch a new video game subscription service starting this summer. It's going to combine its current services of PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus into, get this, PlayStation Plus. Who would have saw that coming?
Pac-Man, gobble, 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 gobble.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, who cares what we call it? Just call it the same fucking thing. I don't care. They're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
We will. But at least with that, it's going to have the new structure will have the three options of tiers. So first up is going to be PlayStation Plus Essential, which will take the place of the current model that offers 2 free games each month and an access to online multiplayer. It's going to cost you $10 a month or $60 for an annual subscription. Moving up the ladder. Next, we have PlayStation Plus Extra, because you get a little extra. So you're going to get everything in Essential along with a selection of 400 downloadable PS4 and PS5 titles. So it's quite a little bump for an extra, little bit. So this is actually going to run you $15 a month or $100 a year. So going from this, of course, there's always going to be the upper echelon. So that's going to leave PlayStation Plus Premium or PPP. Sounds familiar.
Isn't that money we give out to people?
Yeah. It's something like that. Isn't this working backwards? Shit. But with this, Premium is going to boost up the number of downloadable games to roughly 740, along with the ability to stream a selection of PlayStation, PS2, PSP, PS3, PS4, and PS5 games. So it's just the entire series of consoles and whatnot. But select games, I'm sure as you're going back a little further, it's going to be dwindling down a little what you can actually get.
Yeah.
So Sony states that the premium service is going to let users stream their games to their PC as well as the PS4 and PS5. And so that one's going to come with a premium price, of course. So that's either going to be $18 a month or $120 annually. So about paying twice the amount as your essential, but to people who have a lot of time to play games or really want to be able to check things out, it's really not too far off from what we're paying for Netflix or Hulu or any of those.
There's a lot of PS.
Yeah, I mean, it really seems to be Sony's answer to the Game Pass, which also lets gamers download and stream a lot of games. And they did want to take the time to make an announcement that they're actually going to be working with a lot of third-party developers to kind of get some more of the smaller titles out there and kind of push it through, which PlayStation Now did do some of that when so I had it for a few months, but you definitely got some of the ones that would usually be kind of swept under the rug, and they got a chance to, shine for themselves.
I think it'll depend on what the games are.
Yeah.
So like Random Rick included like 9 titles worth playing because like PlayStation had their free month this month. I didn't like any of the games they gave away.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, what are you going to put on this platform? And I just remember my old man voice, back in my day, PlayStation was free, and that was their big thing against Microsoft. So
yeah,
now they're making you pay for it, which I'm okay with because you pay for it, you get better stuff coming out and everything. So that's what I'll be looking for to see what they're actually going to put out there. I was more of a PlayStation Plus than a PS Now. I really was like, why do you have these two things competing against each other anyway?
Yeah.
So kind of nice they're getting rid of the one and just sticking with this, but the quality, it's like, back in high school on a date, are you going to get to first base? You're going to make it all the way home. You don't know. You don't know until the date's over. You don't know.
Where are we going? Oh, is that a Fallout game? All right, we're going around. Oh, is that looking good? Cool. All of a sudden comes to a full stop. Oh, Corey's house. Son of a bitch.
I can't get the strap off. What? No.
Oh, shit. It's too accurate.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
That's the moment you throw the controller. If you're having a relatable moment, you can't get the strap off, you throw the controller across the room. Just like,
son of a bitch.
With this game.
Yeah, I'm done. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how it's going to be with, having brand new games. What's the first game going to be that goes from, hey, this just released in March and then it's available for like by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Obviously you're going to have like select titles, but
I'm thinking it'll be interesting to see, even though now they're under Microsoft, because they just came off of Vanguard being free for like 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And they usually have the new Warzone or Call of Duty game come out around October. So with this taking place in June and them trying to get people onto it, I wonder if that'll be one of the games that might draw some interest. This is going to piss off people that just went out and bought it probably after the free thing, but that's what happens. That's what happens,
the way it goes.
But there's going to be some interesting titles that they'll probably release. That there'll be a few that'll be probably good, but I think a lot of them will be like some of the old, maybe kicked around type stuff. Although I am psyched about maybe getting some of the old PlayStation 2 stuff back again. So
I know,
just to get back into some of that stuff.
Yeah, I would not be mad at that. I mean, granted, I still have my PS2, but the game library has dwindled after so many yard sales over the years. So
right.
If I can find a way to go back through and not like completely break the bank, it's like because coming up in like a few weeks, the guys like we went back to an old PlayStation game and trying to find ways to play this other than just going like it's a whole freaking hassle because you can get it on PS3 through like the old PS Now shit. But if you wanted to go find like a physical copy of the game used without a case, it was like $130.
Yeah.
So no, thank you. I mean, it's nice being older than before when you had to ask, Mom, Dad, can I have a game? And now it's like, hey, I have disposable income. Do you want to spend $150 for nostalgia? It's like not that much. No thanks.
I feel like they could have a kick-ass NBA Jam game on PS5 though. That would be kick ass.
I would be totally okay with it. You got to bring back the mascots, though. I got to be able to play as like the Bulls and whatnot. Throw Bill Clinton in there with the sax. Look at my 360. Oh,
don't get it on you.
No. Oh, here's tissue
in your face.
I'm shakalaka. Oh shit! All right, yeah, that's going to go way off the deep end real quick. So, all right, yeah, you know what? Before we get ourselves into too much trouble here, I mean that's gonna be a wrap on the news right there. So I believe are we looking roundtable next? I don't know. Greg was here and then he left. I don't know. I'm on my own. You pop me up on the screen. I read my shit, and then I can look over there for a little while. And
we're the mime in the box. We're the mime in the box. We're the mime in the box.
Welcome to the roundtable. Thank you guys for the news. We're going to have interesting conversation here. So let's bring in our roundtable folks. We're going to start with Victor from Fan Dads. How you doing, Victor?
Cheers. How are you doing? Doing great. Doing great, Greg. Not doing Greg great. Doing great.
Great. Right. What you just said. We're going to bring in our mature audience newsreader, Steve.
Oh, that's me. Oh shit. Whoops.
What's up, Steve? How you doing?
Not too bad. How about
long
yourself?
Time no see.
I know. It's been so long.
It's like been literally 12 seconds.
It's been 1 week since. Oh no, it's different.
He's at a new location too, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I know. I just came back from that tree over there. There was something really cool behind. Yeah. It was a death claw.
You're better than those. I may have to slap you, but you're better than those Oscar people who change in like 2 seconds.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah. But you're too far away from me to slap you. It's a shame. So instead of doing that, we'll bring on Rod J again. What's up, Rod? How you doing?
You can't say slap and Oscar in the same sentence anymore. Didn't you get the memo?
You did. Apparently, you did it because you just did
it. Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, y'all mentioned
keep my name out of your mouth.
Right. Speaking of movies, though, this is a nice segue. Movies and TV shows. I want to talk to y'all fellas about games that become movies, not the other way around, because we'd be here all night if that was the other way around. I would get stuck on Spider-Man. I just saw for the first time No Way Home today, so good flick, wonderful. But back to what I really want to talk about, which is games that turn into TV shows. And the latest one that we have is Halo. I don't know if anybody else saw that or want to comment on that. We're going to have a full breakdown of that by our Halo lover, Doug, one of these months. He wants to wait to get most of them in before he critiques them, but I've heard mixed comments about it. But I wanted to know, what is y'all favorites? Are there ones that really stick out? We got Rod that loves to talk about going back, way back. So these things aren't new, but they seem to be more prominent these days, and it seems like studios are definitely more attuned to taking that risk of turning a video game. It used to be a big risk, I felt, and then they would just always do the opposite, which is take a hit movie and then turn it into a game, which is not rocket science, to be honest with you. But going the other way is an interesting one, and I think we've seen it less. We're seeing it more. I mean, because if you do that, then doesn't that give you more leeway creatively for the TV show? Because games are kind of mostly narrow as far as like the plot goes. You run around, you hit people, you hit them over the head. So, Victor, where do you have any of your favorites of video games that became TV shows or movies?
I will start off with the first Mortal Kombat movie. That one, I remember when it first came out, like the hype of it, and just sitting in the theater, and the lights going dark, and then all of a sudden you hear Mortal Kombat, and then like that rave music starts, and everyone in the theater starts dancing. That one was awesome for me, and then how it ended, like there was going to be a sequel. But after that, it was kind of like the games, like it had its ebbs and flows. Like some were good, some were bad, and then some was like, you actually took time to film this? Why? Or make this game? The latest one that came out was actually pretty decent. I thought it was okay. I mean, I'm not gonna say it was the best, but the first one is always good. And then like recently, like the Sonic movie that came out. I mean, that I remember when Gil and I went to see that, we didn't expect much of it. We just thought it was gonna be, a cute, family movie. And we walked out, we're like, yeah, that was actually pretty dope, and I want to see it again. And I haven't seen the sequel yet, but I've heard that one has even topped the first one. But those were actually pretty good. I tried watching Uncharted. I love the games. That series is amazing. I mean, that movie, it's a movie basically just playing it. But, with how, times are nowadays on the internet, there's ways to see movies without going to the theaters. And I started watching Uncharted, and I didn't get past 15 minutes. Wow. I turned it off. I was like, I need to either sit down again and try this, but I just couldn't. And I was sad because, like I said, that's one of my favorite series playing. and then I had a lot of high hopes for it. And I think that's the thing too. It's like with gamers, when a movie is being made of like their favorite franchise, you have these like huge expectations. You want to see this part, you want to see this scene, you want to hear them say this and that, or use this weapon. But then when the movie comes out, you build it up too much for yourself, and then you're like, oh well, they didn't say I don't know, bazinga or something, like a certain phrase that they say in the game, and then you're just like, that movie sucked, and you don't want to see it again. But it was just because of one thing. But with Uncharted, like I sat down, I was watching it, and I'm like, okay, all right, what's going on? What's happening? And then I was just like, I'm gonna come back to it. But yeah.
Steve, what do you got?
That makes me sad to hear, because when I first heard there was going to be an Uncharted movie, and again, like Vic, I was like stoked because I love the game series itself. And then they were like, all right, well, your cast is Tom Holland. I'm like, he's already Spider-Man. I could maybe see it like a little bit. And then they're like, oh, Sully by Mark Wahlberg. And I was like, what? Like, I don't know. I haven't seen the movie yet. I haven't really gotten the chance, unfortunately, but just, I don't know. I think what can really make or break it for some of these is really like the cast. If you're going to be making a movie out of a game, I don't really think you're going to need like a lot of like the huge name actors to do it. Just find somebody who can portray the character properly. And I think that's one of the biggest problems that it is. It's like, well, we need to throw like, these well-known actors and everything else at it, so it garners this attention. It's like, well, you're making a fucking movie out of a video game. Obviously, there's already been enough traction over how many years for a fan base to build on it. So why do you feel like you just have to throw like some cheap shot in and be like, oh, well, people know this person? No, I don't give a shit. I don't want Mark Wahlberg as Sully. I haven't even seen it. I already know I don't want Mark Wahlberg as Sully. Give me an old rugged bastard who can move through and think. I don't find somebody. I don't have a name in mind, because I don't care who it is. Just make it good. Don't try to pander to me. I have standards, damn it.
All right. So do you have any favorites though? Do you have any ones that pop out of you that were like,
actually, it was really funny where when Vic was talking about Mortal Kombat, that was my first one also, and I remember my dad taking me to the movies to go see that. But I can't really think of too many. I think there was like one of the newer I think it was a Tomb Raider movie that came out a few years ago.
I was going to say Tomb Raider.
That was a lot better done than with like the Angelina Jolie, because it wasn't like about, oh, here's sex appeal. Okay, granted. Okay, I see you, Ron. I see you. Okay. Let's go. Let's take the 2 points of watching the movie or like actually watching the movie, like between the two.
Right.
I think, I don't know. I just kind of see where it's I don't know what kind of movie are you really trying to watch. Are you just trying to watch a pretty busty woman jump around the screen for an hour and a half? Of course I am, but I do want some, like actual like substance and story kind of behind it. And I remember as a podcast, we went out to go watch the movie, and we all actually like really enjoyed it. So I don't know. It's just like what we were saying earlier. Give me quality over just trying to rush and push something out.
What'd you say, Rod? You got any favorites of these?
Well, it's funny because I'm probably opposite Steve and Vic, because the Mortal Kombat just came out, I thought was the better of any of they've done. And that's the one that I was waiting to see, because everything else was so clean on the other Mortal Kombat. So Mortal Kombat, I had the PlayStation growing up. We wouldn't have the Nintendo. We were allowed to have blood and gore on our system. We weren't like Nintendo where they cut it out. So you kind of wanted that next level, kind of that R movie to come out, which they finally came out with. So for me, that one hit more. But as far as like some of the favorites, like Tomb Raider, I like the ones with Angelina Jolie, but I am an Angelina Jolie fan. But I felt there's certain people that play certain roles that you say, okay, nobody can play this person again, really. Even if you had the newer one come out, Angelina Jolie was cut from a cloth that was like, okay, you are Laura Croft. It's like putting Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. It's like, okay, who's going to play her now? Because it's ruined. You got nobody else you can really put into that outfit, you know? And it was just kind of, I thought, entertaining type movie. It was a popcorn movie. You weren't going to get a deep plot. You were just there to, you know, kick it, relax, do whatever. And for me, one of the fun series to actually watch, although it got a little crazy during the last couple, was Resident Evil. Watching Mila Jovovich run around. I thought that was a fun series of movies to watch coming from a video game type standpoint. So those are kind of two of the ones that I actually enjoyed coming out. I never did see Blood Rain. I know some people like that one that came out, but I never watched that one, so I can't really speak on it. I never watched the Mario movies, so I can't talk about them. As well.
I was gonna say, I think the Nintendo games are underserved.
Oh my God,
As
who
far as
doesn't
this
want
goes.
John Leguizamo as Luigi? I mean, come on now. I'll be honest. I know that movie's got a lot of shit. That's like one of my I have like 102 fever. I feel like shit. I need like childhood nostalgia. Super Mario Brothers. That's a way to go. Thank you for bringing that up.
The cartoon series is that we're talking about, right?
Oh no, I'm talking about the movie.
You're talking about the live action.
Oh,
movie.
okay.
Yeah, live action where poor
okay.
Yoshi looks like a fucking like a pinhead dinosaur with a harmonica. Though good touch on that one.
Still better than Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
But
Agreed.
but God, I was never a huge Star Wars person. My wife was big into Star Wars, and when they came out with that one, she's like, "Oh, let's go see Star Wars." Like, I've never been into Star Wars really. She's like, "Oh, but this is the new one. Let's go." Blah, blah. We went. That's the one they brought out, Jar Jar Binks. I'm like, "Why am I here again?" She's like, "You could have brought me to any one of the worst movies of the Star Wars franchise in this one." So, but I was gonna say, I said Greg a thing before. They had a behind the scenes look at the Halo show. I know I hate talking about Halo when Doug's not here. I feel like somebody's looking over my shoulder. Like, are you talking Halo without me being on the show?
Doug is here.
There he is.
Yeah, but it hit.
He heard Halo and was like, "What?"
Yeah, like radar went off.
Someone speaking the song of my people.
But they were talking about the casting of Master Chief, which was interesting because to Steve's point, it wasn't like a well-known type person, but it was a person that just fit the mold of what the Master Chief was supposed to be. And dude, the training regimen those guys go through for that show is crazy. I mean, they are running up mountains, they're doing all kinds of lifting and stuff for them to get the physiques they need for it. So they put the work in.
And what do you have a quick have you seen it, Rod? Or
I haven't seen any of the episodes. It was behind the scene. They were very careful not to spoil. So they were kind of just talking about some of the different things and what to expect upcoming. And it piqued interest. It was like, this kind of looks like it could have some good things happening on here. And there's a couple of characters you'll see that you'll know that are like main actors, but they're kind of just in different roles where it's like, you've seen like those guys, like, I know that guy from somewhere. Like, because you see them in the movies in the background and stuff. But most of them are like unknowns.
So yeah, and the reason I asked video game to TV show, because the other way is this. I mean, we could be here all night, in my opinion, as far as good movies that make good video games. And maybe y'all wanted to come off on a couple of those, just one or two or three. But we could, from what I know, we could be here all night because I think a lot of times when you have an established plot, it's easier to make a video game really, really pop. The ones I think of are the Spider-Mans and the Batmans, actually. I enjoyed both of those games, especially the PlayStation versions. I really have a good time with those. My kids really have a great time with them. So, but yeah, so, and I knew when I asked this question, I knew it was kind of going to be, you know, a little bit few and far between. Not few and far between, but I still think Hollywood has a ways to go as far as being able to translate, you know, and we have high expectations as gamers, you know, because when we play these games, we're like, man, we want to be entertained. And like Victor didn't even get 15 minutes in Uncharted.
Yeah.
So so you know what I'm saying?
I tried.
Like, there's that right.
You probably got people in there making the games that really didn't play or experience the games as much. They're like, oh, here's a script, so let's go ahead and direct it. Like, no, that would never happen in the game like that. So you got to get the right people in there to be able to explain stuff.
Right. And I also feel it's kind of like, you know, books to movies. When people say, you know, That book was amazing, and that movie was, I don't know what y'all were doing. That was trash.
Mhm.
And you hear that almost more often than not. So I kind of feel the video games to the TV shows is the same thing. I don't know if anybody has a comment on that. Or does anybody want to talk about the best game? The best TV show to a game.
I will say one of the games I've played, I need to get back and finish playing, was Alien Isolation. I'm a big fan of the Alien movies. And you get Alien Isolation and you play it in the dark. And with if you're like have the headphones or something on with the music and the beats and stuff like that, that should have you looking over your shoulder thinking the aliens behind you. It's just, it gets to you. It gets to you. That was one of the better ones I've seen from a movie going into a game. As you're going through this basically almost abandoned station, trying to figure out what's going on.
I'm going to need some Depends for something like that.
Yeah.
God.
That movie, I was much younger. That movie was scary as shit.
Yeah.
Was it Aliens? I think
the first one was Alien, and then Aliens was the second
Aliens was the one that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Right. Steve, do you have any of these? The other way, which is, established TV show to video games that were just.
I'll be honest.
I mentioned the Batmans and the Supermans, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest one that really stands out is, Spider-Man, because especially like my two favorite ones were Spider-Man on PS4 and actually Spider-Man 2 on Xbox. It's just more, you get the feel of like, fuck, I'm Spider-Man, here I go. But I mean, I almost feel like some of that's cheating a little bit, because you go from like comic and then they do like TVs or movies or something, and then games are in the end. So they kind of had a long timeline to kind of like establish more story, more characteristics that kind of came along with it. Where it's kind of like, on the other side of things, when it's, video games to movies, it's like, here's like 10 hours of gameplay. Try to pick out some of the story, because that might be like 35 minutes for some of these games. But I can't really think of too many that really stand out where it's, movies to games, at least like where it was like standalone, like a TV show to games. One I will say that was pretty well done, which technically was a comic book, was there was the Telltale series for The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was done very, very well, which a lot of it, like the way they kind of told it wasn't part of the TV show. I mean, I know there was like the Walking Dead game, but the Telltale series, where it's like you're playing the story, you're making the choices are going to affect your entire timeline through. I think that was something that was very well done. And there was a few times where you feel like you're having like a moral decision of like, oh shit, am I really going to smash this guy's head in with a freaking cinder block? Or I think it was a salt lick in that one. You were in the country, but it was just, I just think, especially because for, I watched like the first 5 or 6 seasons of that show. It just fell off for me, but you get the same kind of like anxiety and feeling watching the show as you did playing the game, if not more so, because it's not something that a writing room and a director came up with. It's you making that choice out of like, choose your own adventure type story. So that's something that's one that I really did enjoy.
Yeah, that was a good. I reminded me of those old books back in the day.
Oh yeah,
like you take the road on the left or the road on the right. You say road on the right. Oh, turn to page 56.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
No, the left. I'm going back.
It's like, no, I don't want to do that. That. And at least that's something where I can appreciate the video games, because unless you're like reloading or something else going for the start, some of them won't let you. Then you're stuck with that decision. Autosave kicked in. You made the choice. You have to stick with it. And now you live with your decisions, you son of a bitch. You killed him. Fucked up.
Right. And you cussed and made my segue a little bit harder to Victor, but I wasn't going to call him a son of... No, I'm not. But Victor, do you have any established videos, any established shows that went to video that, yeah.
I you know what? I like this whole time I'm trying to think of any... I mean, the Telltale games, like all that. I mean, anything that Telltale did was like fascinating. All those games are really good. So if you never played any of them, just look up their library and then just pick whichever game and play them, because those are awesome.
Mhm.
Movies that came in the game, I can't really think of anything that was good. The only thing I could think of is like the opposite, like what was the worst, and that's like the ET game for the Atari. Like, because that game just kept going over and over. It never stopped.
They buried that
Worst
motherfucker in
game
the
ever.
desert.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
it was just so bad. I mean, I remember I still have my copy, and if my
Yeah.
2600 was working, I'll probably play it one day.
It
And
might
just
be
like,
worth something now because it was so
That's
bad.
probably definitely worth something.
Yeah.
There's only 3 out there.
if there's like a day when I'm home with like my kids, I'm like, here, let me keep you busy for 10 hours. Just play this game, and I'll
Right,
put the intent of that.
It's a terrible game.
Well, that one's due for a reboot, just totally, because my kids have no idea what ET is. I'm like, do you know what ET is? And they're like, no. You say Wally, they know who Wally is.
Right.
Oh,
They
of
do
course.
not know ET. And yeah, I vaguely remember that game, but I don't remember it being
Oh,
good.
all right. Movie to game, something that was good. Sorry. Disney's Aladdin on Super Nintendo. That was a lot of fun. I know
Oh,
I know
Lion
that seems
King.
like it's out of left field, but yeah.
Uh-huh.
I could tell you another one that was an old school game that was actually pretty decent when it kicked on the old school system was Crawl from the Kurt Russell movie.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what? Now you gotta remember like the Star Wars games on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Those were a lot of fun.
yeah.
Hard as hell. Those were hard.
The Empire Strikes
Yeah.
Back.
Oh, there we go.
that was
Goldeneye.
there you
How
go.
do we not think of Goldeneye? We got to turn in our
Oh,
gamer
God.
cards. That's it. The show's over. We're not gamers.
Shut it off.
GoldenEye.
Oh,
GoldenEye.
wow.
Wow. Huh.
Now that
right.
I think
Right.
what it is. What it is, Greg, is the too many libations before the game.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Right. And that's a perfect segue to what I want to talk about is, Libations and Lost Saves. And Libations is big with us, and we haven't really discussed it. So we're going to take that opportunity to do that now. So, Rod, you are a big beer guy.
I'm a
Look
big
up
guy.
God. Right. But look up Rod Beer Adventures. This man is always out there talking to beer influencers, beer people, beer distributors, brewers. I mean, he's just all over the place. He's great. You're one of the first people I found when I started jumping in on the beer. And then soon after, I noticed that you were into gaming too. And I was really fascinated by all that, and I follow your gaming streams, of course, and that's part of why you're here, because you are a game head, almost as much as a beer head. So how do they combine? Because sometimes I have issues when I drink, and maybe I drink a little bit too much. Maybe it's too much part. And then this thing gets a little bit more challenging. Is that the purpose of it all, or where are we at? So we'll start with Rod, and then how does the whole beer and drinking
I think
thing?
it probably depends on what game you're playing and what you're drinking too, right? So It's funny because probably the game I play most is Call of Duty Warzone or one of the variations of it. I actually tend to get better as I drink more. So I think you get more relaxed, and you're not as when you're there, you're not relaxed. People have broken controllers playing Warzone. You're cussing out the TV. The wife's wondering what the hell's going on. The dog's hiding under the couch. You don't know what's all happening. But when you're drinking, you're just like kind of with it and all kind of stuff. You're like, all right, I see you. I'm gonna get you over there. So then you're just going with the flow. So having a nice beer to pair up while you're playing it makes you calm, because we all know hops are the cousins of marijuana. So the hop vine is from the distant cousin of the marijuana vine. So
we're friends.
Yeah, we're friends. They're hanging out. They're hanging out at the barbecue in the summer. What's up? They're all
right.
They're
all
sharing.
Walks up like, "What's up, bud?"
Yeah. What's up, bud? Well played. So.
Right. Okay, Steve. What is the correlation between what? How do you feel it? How do you see it?
I'm right on with Rod, where it's like I think it's depending on what you're playing. Really does kind of depend on what you're drinking. If I'm playing like a more like slow paced, like story heavy game where it's not like a whole lot of like extra interaction, I'll pour like a glass of whiskey or some bourbon. I am a bit of a bourbon boy. I enjoy it. It's just like I'll drink anything that's a little dark there. So who the fuck am I kidding? But I feel like kind of like the same where if it's a little more that I have to focus and pay attention, a lot more like stamina on the controller, maybe just like a couple beers, whether it's Call of Duty. I know back in the day, for Guitar Hero, if I was like felt like a little loosened up, did a little bit better, whether it was, having a beer, or since we're talking way back when, a cousin of Hops at the time, just kind of like sets the mood right a little bit. It's like, all right, I can feel it a little more. I can get in there. I can find my rhythm, especially back on like Modern Warfare days. That's where it's just like, okay, let's just hit that nice little sweet spot, and then I can coast for the rest of the night. Kind of be like, fuck was that over there? Oh, it's a guy. Shoot him a couple times a little bit. But then you make the mistake of like, maybe I'll just have one more, and then fucking garbage. Just done. It's like I'm a raging dumpster fire of a game player. And it's like, I can't do this anymore. Let me just go play some Rocket League where I can suck with everybody else.
What's going on, Victor? How does this translate for you?
You know what? I hardly drink when I play, so maybe that's why I'm so bad. But I remember like when I was younger, like when I would get together with my friends, like we would, have like the Genesis on and either be playing Madden or NHL. It's hilarious because it's like that was like our routine. We would do that and then go hit a party or whatever, and then end up like at like an IHOP or a Golden Apple. And then like Swingers came out like a couple years later, and then like that's like what's their routine. And we're like, were they watching us? What's going on? But it was exactly what we would do. But nowadays it's like, I usually play when everyone's asleep. So obviously if I were to drink something, I would probably knock out before my game's over or before I don't even know what I'm doing. But I guess it's like Rod said, it depends on what you're playing. I mean, I'll just drink whatever I have on hand. But if it's something heavy like a stout, then obviously I'm not going to be playing too long because that's going to just mess up my entire game. So I guess it just depends on what I'm trying to do. But I mean, whatever I have on hand, I'll drink. But I don't really drink as much when I play.
Yeah. Gotcha. And then, so there's no. But is there any like styles that go with gaming, Rod?
Depending on your palate, your taste. Like I'm drinking Hop Slam right now, and I can slam a couple of these and still get on Warzone, and this is a 10% ABV.
Yeah.
And the whole thing on Warzone is point and click, right? You got to point and shoot the guys. Like, but if I was sitting there trying to do something like Tomb Raider or Uncharted, trying to figure out puzzles, I wouldn't pair it with Hop Slam. I'd have a nice Pilsner. I have a nice little lager there. You know what I mean? Just
okay.
Because you got to keep the right skill set around you. So.
So there is a little bit of that going on as far as what you're playing, and then what you look in your fridge, and I can only imagine Rod's beer fridge. I can only imagine it. I would love to see it.
It's a mini one now because we moved, but yeah, it's still got.
I see your refrigerator like that pick a six section at the fucking liquor store. Like I just see all different kinds of beers. Like most people just pile up on a beer. You know what I mean? They buy a 24 pack of something, or they buy a case of something, or they buy like 2 6-packs of something. And you'll see like 2 or 3 6-packs. I just see Rod as like, man, like this. Just the fucking variety show. Like,
short story, right? So tonight I uploaded an unboxing video in the beer ton. I went to a beer store to grab some beers before tonight, and I was trying to figure out what to get because everything was mostly 4-packs or 6-packs, and they had some singles. But the guy's like, "Hey, you did everything on all right? Are you all good?" And all kind of stuff. And I'm like, "Yeah, just like there's not much of the singles around here." He's like, "Oh no," but he's like, "If you see something you like, just go ahead and rip it off and then put the other 3 on the floor or whatever like that and everything." I'm like, "Wait a second, they could just pull apart the packs and do that?" He's like, "Yeah, people do it all the time, and we just put in the singles. We can do that with no problem." And I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, something like you set me up or something. Like I'm about to get arrested up here in Baltimore. I don't know what's going on."
Looking in the back, it's like I knew you were fucking there.
So I started doing them, and it was just like I felt dirty. I felt a little dirty.
I would feel so clean. Right.
But I started doing it. Like nobody was saying anything. It was just like you take a couple off, put the other 2 down, and they charge you individual prices. So came home with the variety pack.
I'm the wrong person to tell that. That will just be.
Well, if you ever have a Trader Joe's near you, Trader Joe's allows you to do that.
Man, I mean, I just went to a brewery, one of my favorites, Working Draft here in Madison, Wisconsin, and they just started selling singles. So I was there last week, and I said, "All your singles," and they look at me like, "What?" I'm like, "All your singles, let's go."
Yeah. I want one of these.
And
Like the strip
right,
club.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
there we go.
But when you know they do that, as a consumer, you have to patronize that so that they know that people want that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I want that all the time because, again, some of these beers, it goes both ways, Rob, because some of these beers are great. You're like, damn, I wish I would have picked the 4 of that. And then some of these beers, you're like, I'm getting rid of this before I even drink anymore. Like, so, you know what I mean? You don't want to be drain pouring 4 beers. And especially with COVID, it's coming down now, but I used to be the biggest beer giver in the world, meaning I would, get a 4-pack and like give 2 away before I even tasted it because I'm like, I know I'm not going to get through this 4-pack. Especially like Victor saying, man, I'm a father too. So, I mean, they're older now, so I don't have to have that. Like, Victor's are a little bit younger than mine. But once they get a little bit older, you could be like, fuck it, I'm going to drink.
You can fend for your fucking self,
right,
Daddy. Get out of here.
Right.
I have to be attentive to what's going on. That's why
Not only that, I don't want my kids to be like, I want them to get the context of me drinking beer. I don't want to see them me drinking beer every damn day. Damn, Dad
drinks a lot.
Right.
That's what's right. You don't know what they're talking about.
There's in the school like, oh, my dad drinks beers every day, right? And the teacher like,
right. I know beer because my dad loves that shit.
Like, what?
Without like saying that you're like an expert and you write about it, they're like, he drinks a lot of beers.
He drinks a lot of beer.
What?
Right. So, all right, fellas, it was nice talking to y'all. I'll see y'all next month. Any parting shots? Oh no, we'll get to that during the wrap.
We got the rat.
Yep. See y'all.
Now I consider myself your average Kirby enjoyer. I've played for Kirby Triple Deluxe, Kirby Planet Robot, and Kirby Star Allies, and a handful of side games. And when Nintendo announced that there's going to be a new 3D Kirby game after not having one for 19 years, a new Kirby game, especially after Star Allies, is pretty mid, with upgradable copy abilities, the ability to be a vending machine. This is going to be the best Kirby game ever. So now the question, does it live up to expectations? Yeah, the game's pretty good. Now when I play Kirby games, it's not really for the challenge, but it's more trying to get everything, 100%ing it. And what I didn't like about the other Kirby games is that it was difficult to get every collectible. But now in Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, that's not a problem. Forgot a figure in a level, you can just spend coins and have a chance to get it. And now you may be asking yourself, how do I get collectibles? Well, stages of course, and Kirby and the Forgotten Lands stages are pretty cool. Especially with some new mechanics, such as the ability to set up random objects to control, which is really cool. But there's only 14, and by like World 4, you've basically seen everything, so it gets kinda stale. But another feature is the ability to upgrade copy abilities, which is awesome. Basically, in levels you find a scroll to upgrade abilities in Waddle Dee Town. And it's a good way to negate the feeling of not adding new copy abilities in future games. So now instead of having to add a new copy ability each game, you can just add some upgrades to old copy abilities. It's cool. But there's only 12, which 2 of them are new and pretty cool. The Ranger, which is just Kirby with a gun, and Drill, where Kirby has a drill and can dig underground and dig up and hit enemies. But versus Planet Robot's 27 copy abilities or Triple Deluxe's 26, it's kinda lackluster. But you can say, but there's upgrade abilities. Which, yes, if you count the upgrades, it would be 36 copy abilities. But while the upgrades are cool, they don't change enough of the core ability to be a replacement of the other copy abilities. So I wish they just added other non-upgradable copy abilities like from the other games. Because after World 4 gets kinda stale ability-wise, you've basically seen all 12 base abilities besides some upgraded ones in later worlds. But another thing I like about Kirby games is good side games. Stuff like Meta Nightmare Returns and Kirby Fighters come to mind. And Kirby and the Forgotten Land has some really solid side games. There's one where you help Waddle Dee Cafe by supplying customers with food in a rhythm-style game. And another one where you tilt a box of motion controls to get an orb from one side to the other. And of course, every good game has one, a fishing minigame. But now you may be asking yourselves, how do you access these side games? Well, by upgrading the hub world. What's the hub world? Well, let me explain. The hub world starts off as a broken down village, but over time, by saving Waddle Dees, which you do in levels by doing certain tasks like defeating bosses in a certain amount of time, or just finding Waddle Dees in secret areas and levels, and by doing that, it upgrades the town, which unlocks all sorts of stuff that I don't want to spoil. And the saving Waddle Dee system is really fun for replayability. It gives you another challenge for the same level. It's really fun. And here we're introducing a new segment called the stuff that I want to talk about, but I couldn't fit in the script, but I still want to talk about. I love the little animations for every level. Oh, and the music is just fantastic. First, you get the shop jams. Then you got that evil crap. Then you got the slow jams. All in all, I feel like this is a huge step in the Kirby franchise, and while I feel like there was a few missteps, it's still pretty good. I'll give it a 6 out of 7.
All right, Slothy, thank you for that. And now we will have our Meet the Host segment with our friend Matt Clark, who was unable to participate with us tonight. But we'll talk about that in a wrap. But Matt Clark and I met right before the stream started to talk about his love of gaming and all that. So here you go. Hey, y'all. I'm here with Matt Clark. Matt Clark's going to be one of our hosts for our fun new gaming stream coming up here on Wednesday. Let's see here. February 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern, called Libations, and Lost Saves. What's going on, Matt?
Yo, what's going on, man?
Hey, man. So you're going to be involved in... I'm doing good, man. But you're going to be involved in our great stream that's coming up here. We're going to see you talk about the news and our news segment. We're going to see you at the roundtable. But let's talk about where you, where'd you come from as far as gaming goes. What's your gaming history?
Man, I started young. I started playing games when I was like 6 or 7. My first console was a Super Nintendo. And then the PlayStation 1 came out and just completely changed my world for that stuff. So, and now I'm pretty much a PlayStation guy through and through. Play on PC a bunch as well. You
started on 16 here. Where'd you start on this chart here?
17. I started on 16, transitioned to 17, and then I've probably had almost all of those systems since then, with the exception of the Sega ones, but and a Wii U, because I'm not one of the 7 people that bought a Wii U. So yeah, I'm just all around have been vastly interested in gaming my entire life.
And currently, what's your console of choice, and how do you do that with all these consoles we got now?
Currently my console of choice is the PlayStation 5. It's been awesome. I love that it has like all the backwards compatibility with PS4 that I could ever want. I've been playing a little bit of the Switch here and there, and anything that I can't get on those 2 consoles, I'll just get on PC. So that's usually my breakdown for handling the gaming.
So we'll call you a PlayStation guy.
Yeah, I'm a Sony guy through and through for sure.
All right. And what else do you do? What are you doing now as far as in the gaming industry, and how do you what do you do?
In the gaming industry now, our anchor, I guess, for in Libations and Lost Saves, Steve is actually we're both co-hosts on a podcast called Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go, or SFG RPG for short. We do video game reviews. We have been recently on our in-between episodes doing console retrospectives, where we're talking about our top 5 for each console, as well as what we think defined the console in terms of games, accessories, and like honorable mentions along the way as well. So that's been awesome. It's been so much fun going through lists of like 4,000 or 5,000
games and being like, oh, I remember that. Oh, I remember that one. Oh, I remember that one. Like it's awesome. Very nostalgic.
Excellent. And where can we find you?
You can find me personally at Whip Your Disc Out on Instagram. That's my disc golf page, and at Super Fun Podcast Go on Instagram as well.
Okay, excellent. And the podcast, we just Google that, and we can find out where the podcast is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the podcast is on anything that you can think of.
Okay, and how long y'all been doing that?
We're going into year 5 now. This is going to be 5 years, 5 or 6 years now that we've been doing the podcast.
All right, man. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to working with you this coming, hopefully, years. We are going to be doing a live stream every second Wednesday of the month. The first one is Wednesday, February 9th at 9 o'clock, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live. And we'll thanks. I was about to call you Steve. Thanks, Matt, for your time. But and we'll see you in a couple days here.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's up, fellas?
You were calling them the good one, so that's okay.
All right. So, couple notes here. We're going on a skeleton staff. We have our friends Art and Gil. We're, I believe, out of town or doing something for spring break. Our friend Kinky Suds is out for a family matter, and Matt Clark is pretty much dealing with sickness. He was sick, and his family was sick, and his son was sick. So we hope to see all of them back next month. But we wanted to give a shout out to them because we love them and we miss them.
Absolutely.
So, anything going on in the Rod J Gaming, Fan Dads, Super Fun Go podcast era? Rod, what's going on?
Don't forget Kiki being out too. So
yeah, didn't I say her?
Did you say Kinky?
Yeah,
yeah.
I missed it. My bad.
You're too busy clapping.
I was too busy clapping. I'm getting into this hop slam right now. That's why I only play Warzone when I drink hop slam.
The hop slam's getting into you.
There it is. Yep.
First of all, Whip Your Disc Out. That's pretty damn good. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
That was hilarious.
When he was trying to put that together, he's like, I'm trying to come up with the name. And he's like, he went through like 1 or 2 iterations and he's like, I got it. I'm going to call it Whip Your Disc Out. I'm like, yes, please do it, man. That's good. Make yourself stand out.
Second thing, Slothy, that shit was legit. I hope you cut that out. I hope he's got a channel you can put that on. And the third thing is, when he takes my job, I'm okay with it because he's putting down some good shit right now.
All right.
Say,
Rod, is there anything going on with you on your gaming stream?
On the gaming stream, right now I've been going through stages, playing a little more Vanguard, getting back into that. They just had a free giveaway for a while, but kind of got in some pretty cool modes they brought back to that game. They have like this game where you're capturing bases, and it's kind of like a nice little play where you can actually rank up nicely. So that's been kind of fun. We'll get back into Warzone, but I'm looking to bring back some other games as well. And I mentioned earlier, I want to get that Alien game played again because that's actually a really fun game. It kind of freaks you out, the whole storyline as you go through. And I've got some other ones that are kind of like that. And then there's some pretty others. What's the one? The one where you're trying to escape the killer. I want to get back into that one. Dead by Daylight. Yeah, because they've added some pretty cool killers on there as well. I mean, when I did it before, it was like Jason and Michael Myers and a few other people. But now they got all kinds of updated people on there now, and people see how to blast on that one. It's a fun game to try to figure out how to get away.
Where do we find that on YouTube, right? Raj Gaming on YouTube.
Raj Gaming on YouTube, and I think it's for Raj Gaming on Twitter as well, but YouTube is really the main play for the gaming channel.
Gotcha. Steve, what's going on with Super Fun Gaming Review Podcast Go? Look at that. I got it right.
You got it. Fucking right, man. Absolutely. Yeah, nailed it. I'm going to put that on the calendar.
On this day.
It's a damn mouthful.
Right.
Well, I saw what you did there. I got it. I got that.
So actually, this upcoming Sunday, we're releasing a review of Horizon Forbidden West. So it's been a while since we've done like a recently launched title. So this is starting to get back in because we're trying to get back to, not so much, hey, this was from like 2 years ago. It's like, let's get into something a little more like topical, like on it, not just self-service. So that was definitely a fun episode that we wrapped up just like a week or so ago. I got a lot of editing to do, but we had a lot of fun talking about it. We're still continuing with our Mubbers retrospective, which is the Mega Ultra Between Review Showdown. I think that's an acronym. We just come up with shit. I don't even know anymore. It's been too long. Which I think one of the next ones is PlayStation 4, which I do believe is actually our 100th Mubbers episode. And we just crossed over our 100th review episode. So, I mean, we're getting deep in there. So, yeah, there's a few more going along with that. And some fun games like on the horizon. Let's see what I did, because on the horizon. Some fun ones that we're reviewing, and some major titles coming down the line. Plus, we're going to be working on something a little extra special, like coming up in the summertime, where might be getting some other type of games, not necessarily video. And I'm just going to leave it there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And what's new on Fan Dads, Victor? What y'all got going on over there?
Nothing. No, I'm just playing.
Okay.
No, we're done.
Not a damn thing.
No, but before I start, I remember I reached out to Greg to see what software Softly uses to make his reviews, because I'm like, I want to do that, because those are awesome, man. I give him up to him for doing those.
He did it. He did a great job. That was great. I'm seeing the cuts and whatnot in. You throw a little like dancing Pepe frog. I'm like, okay, all right.
But it's funny because like he let me know, and then like my MacBook is so old I couldn't even download that, and I was like, damn it, I need to get a new laptop now just to make some videos.
Right.
But for us, as right now, we just finished a couple giveaways. We have a couple toy reviews that we got to put up. I've been like trying to edit it, but like I said, my laptop is like ancient, so I've been trying to get those done. A couple reviews. I got to put up my Spider-Man No Way Home review up, because I just got my copy yesterday. Stayed up all night watching it and all the special features. I'm kind of. It is. It's a beautiful movie. I mean, I loved it. I was just upset that the deleted scenes were not on the discs. So I don't know what happened to those. Why didn't put them on though? So I don't know. Maybe Sony's like,
That is weird.
Yeah, they're probably.
Where else are you gonna put them besides the fucking DVD?
I got a feeling they got like some special like edition
PlayStation Essentials.
Right.
If you want to watch these, yeah, you got to pay. We'll show you one scene for PlayStation Extra, and then all of them for PlayStation Premium Plus, Extra Plus.
You want to enjoy a little more? Give me the money.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, Sony.
But that's pretty much about it. We just got a couple more reviews coming up, and yeah.
And we can find all that on fandads.com, right?
Yeah, fandads.com, and then fandads on everything, even on TikTok.
Excellent.
The Tic Tacs.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Old man trying to be with the young kids. Hanging out.
Not fair. Do what you got to do, man.
So the next Libations and Lost Saves is Wednesday, May 11th at 9 p.m. Eastern. And I'll see you guys then. And ignore our outro. I've been having editing issues, so it'll say see y'all 4:13, but see y'all 5:11.
5:11.
Cheers, y'all.
5:11.
Cheers.
Cheers.